Okay, so Jack Sawyer finally gets selected here, a player who I quite liked a lot in the draft process. I was higher on than most, and he ends up falling pretty far in this draft process, all the way here to the fourth round. The Steelers decide to pick him up, and, again, for the Steelers, they don't exactly need a guy who can come in and be great right away. You're drafting Jack Sawyer to be you're drafting him to be a backup right now. But we'll get into the film and why I think he can still be a really good player. And I kind of think part of why he has fallen is sort of a body type thing. You'll see it when you watch him play. He doesn't look menacing, let's say. It's a good name for an edge rusher, I feel like. But other than that, you don't necessarily look at him and think, okay, this guy is going to, be awesome just from looks alone. And I think there are some other criticisms, such as ceiling, but I just think he's going to be a good player. And sometimes just draft a good player. This is what the Rams do year in and year out, right? Is they just go out and say, yeah, this guy might not have the best measurables, might not look the best or whatever, and might not have the highest ceiling, but they were just good in college. They'll probably be good in the NFL, and a lot of times it works. Again, for the edge rush position, he's going to have to work to get playing time. That's just the reality of the situation. TJ Watt, who has had some injuries in his career, but assuming he stays healthy, is an 1,000-snap-a-year guy. Alex Highsmith and Nick Herbig are both 500-snap-a-year guys, if not more. So you're going to have to work just to get some playing time. You might be able to, you're going to have to fight just to get more than 100 or 200 snaps right away. But ultimately, who knows where all these players are going to end up. And if you like Sawyer, he can, again, maybe be someone to replace one of these guys in a couple of years. And ultimately, sometimes you just got to draft the best player and worry about the need later. More often than not, you actually end up needing the picks that you draft in these spots more than you realize. So for a depth pick, it's a great pick. He's a player I like a lot, and I do think that especially in a good situation, you put him opposite TJ Watt, he should be effective. Let me get into the film now and talk about why I like him as a player. Let's start off with the play you see on your screen. So this is going to be a one-on-one matchup. He's going to be going up one-on-one against the right tackle. And what we're going to see right here is just his power. Watch on this play. This is just a bull rush, but watch him just drive that right tackle backwards. It's unfortunate that the play ended when it did, although he kept playing, right? You watch it. He was pushing well past the whistle right there, pushed the tackle into the quarterback. Hey, you do have to be a little bit careful about that stuff in the NFL. They're protecting their quarterbacks there, but ultimately, you see the power, right? The hands he can get, and getting the inside hands and just driving a player back. That's definitely what he is capable of doing. Now, heading over to a play like this, you might have some concerns about that. Not concerns in the sense of okay, listen, it's good that that's a trait that he has. Everyone would agree with that. But I think the concerns could be if he's this powerful guy, well, what happens when maybe he's in space and maybe needs to use his footwork? I will say he certainly is not the fastest player. He's not Abdul Carter out there. But ultimately, I do think that he still shows plays where he can make it work. Like this, for example, it's going to be, they're selling as though they're running the ball to the left. Quarterback is going to take it himself, though, and go more towards the right side of the screen. The player I've circled in white, that is Jack Sawyer. And watch what happens. So when this begins, you're going to see that Jack Sawyer right here steps in and, it's one of those situations, right? There's open space. He kind of knows what he has to do, but can you make this work against the quarterback? Well, ultimately, yes. Again, is it the most nimble looking play in the world? No, but he didn't allow the quarterback to get to the outside, was still able to make a hit on the quarterback, so he can do that kind of thing. Let's go over to a play like this now, where what's going to happen is this is a one-on-one matchup against a tight end. So again, something you expect him to be able to win. But what I like about this is I think it'll show that he gets his hands involved. He's not just someone trying to overpower you every single time. In fact, one of the things I really like about him is how often he gets his hands involved. Watch that left hand and watch how he gets it to the side of the tight end to where he's able to get around so quickly. Again, if you just try to overpower him, okay, eventually it probably would work. It's a tight end. It's a mismatch. But to get your hands involved, that allows you to win as quickly as he can win. Of course, going over to a play like this, ultimately, while it's great that you can beat tight ends, you want to be able to win against more than just tight ends. You have to be able to beat tackles straight up if you're going to make it in the NFL. Well, okay, going up one-on-one against a right tackle right here. When this play begins, you're going to see that right here, he gets his left arm on the kind of right shoulder pad area of the right tackle. And again, for a right tackle, your right hand is everything. But since Sawyer has his hand kind of where that right arm is, he's able to push down, and because of that, he then is able to get free, and again, would have been there for a pressure had, unfortunately, the ball not gotten thrown a little bit earlier than that. And he can also do stuff like this, because again, I'm saying like, okay, well, maybe he's not quite the most nimble, but like he can get his footwork involved in this stuff, right? This play, for example, it's a one-on-one matchup against the right tackle yet again. When this play begins, he's going to start off as though he's going more towards the top of the screen, more towards the tackle's right, but that's not what he's doing. He's going to instead cut for an inside move, and as you see, he's able to do it pretty well and gets to the quarterback, and again, unfortunately, the quarterback makes the throw in time. Hey, part of avoiding sacks is on the quarterback, but Sawyer is doing a great job on these types of plays, making things happen, right? And ultimately, that is just what the main thing I like about Sawyer is this is a guy who doesn't just win, he consistently wins. Sometimes you see a guy where their highlight reel looks insane, but then you watch their tape and they're only winning like 1 out of every 20 reps. That is not the case for Sawyer. And even his losses, it feels like he's still doing some nice things. And like he does have losses, right? Like this one, for example, it's going to be going up one-on-one against a right tackle yet again. That seems to be how they were just doing things in this game. There is a tight end there, but the tight end is going to be running a route. So when this play begins, you see that right here, tight end kind of helps a little bit, forces Sawyer to have to run around. But as of right here, you do see that the tackle is able to get the hand placement he wants on this play. Just going to try and push Sawyer behind the quarterback. As you see, that's what he's able to do. Like, yeah, it's not a perfectly consistent, 1,000% of the time a win rate, but it's a very high win rate. And he has, again, I don't know if he checks every box. He is a slower edge rusher. He just is. And I think you wonder what is his ceiling because of that. But ultimately, he checks a lot of boxes. He has power. He has good hands. And he has multiple years of good production. So ultimately, that's why I would value him pretty highly. But yeah, I mean, those are my thoughts on Jack Sawyer. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from ya. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that video and want to hear more of my thoughts, well, for one thing, you can check out my movie channel. Yes, I have a movie channel. You can check the link in the description below. I do some fun things like some movie reviews, even some TV show reviews, tier list, fun things like that, so you can check that out. Also, make sure that you are subscribed and paying attention to this channel, as there will be plenty of draft content. I plan on making a video for every first round pick, many of the other picks throughout the draft, and also I will do recaps for each team after the draft is over. So I will eventually talk about every single pick from your favorite team. Be on the lookout for that, as it will be out this weekend. And also, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter. I am at Jackson Kruger, or X, whatever you prefer to call it. But yeah, that's all I got. Thanks again for watching till the end of the video.